Okay, good morning, everybody. Here we are for our Saturday morning meeting. The rain has stopped. Woohoo! Yeah. And I think we have some pretty cool things to report. So, as usual, we're going to start over here. Courtney, anything?
I do, but I think I should go after Linda. So
After Linda?
Makes sense.
Okay, well, remind me to come back to you. Okay, Patrick?
I'm just here to get the wood.
Okay. All right, on. Thank you. Much appreciated. Sandy?
Let's see. Well, I'll let the other folks talk about what we heard on the night walk last night, which was awesome. And the only thing I heard this morning, about 5:30 something, was one footstep off the back right corner of my tent. It was one definite step. And then I didn't hear another step, but I heard the bushes, not next to my tent, but on the hillside, just rattling and shaking. And some little birds were going off. And so I immediately got up, got my boots on, still in my long johns, and came out to see what the commotion was. But I walked up and down the road, went into the woods all by myself.
Oh, no Gabby even?
Gabby came along.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she actually was on alert down here a little bit, where those birds were. I followed the birds.
Okay. Did you happen to actually see the birds?
No.
Okay.
But it wasn't a raven or a crow. It was some little Tweety birds. Did you hear them, Patrick? Did you hear them? Yeah, this morning, really early. They just kind of went this way and that way. But when I actually came up the road, went into the forest, cut back through. I didn't go by your tent at all, but I went on down the road, took another little trail, and she was more on alert down there, head down, and then hid behind me once.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, well, I don't see you, so I hope you're here, but then we just came back.
Gabby has so much faith in you, doesn't she?
Hiding behind me? Yeah, really. I should be hiding behind her.
Yeah, you would think.
You would think. But that's all I heard this morning.
Okay, thank you. All right, Jen, anything for you?
I think I heard taps, and I think I heard like a moan up from the tent. Things like that behind her tent.
Yeah. Okay. Right on. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you.
All right, Lee?
I heard the tapping too.
Yeah?
Before we went to bed. I'm not sure what it was.
Okay. How far away from you was it?
Really close.
Really? Okay. How long did it go on for?
Not long. Maybe a minute.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
It is.
Okay. Did it sound like wood or stone or
You know,
not a woodpecker?
It wasn't a woodpecker.
Okay.
No, it was interesting. But it was like ground level, because I was laying down. You could hear it kind of near your ear. So, yeah, I don't know what it was.
Okay.
It was interesting.
All right, cool. Thank you. Sam?
No, pretty quiet.
Okay. Debbie?
I'll let the newbies talk about our walk last night.
Okay.
What we heard. But other than that, I heard nothing.
we had some cool stuff happen to us when we went for a hike at the end of Huckleberry Road on the Huckleberry Creek Trail that goes into the national park. But I'll let my sister tell that one. But last night I heard a big tree crash and fall down.
Really?
In front of it. And when a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Yes, it does.
Yes.
All right. So about what time was that?
2:40.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what's really usual. It's dark and there's no wind. It seems funny that a tree can just
weird.
fall over.
Yeah.
That is
That's the only
strange.
reason why I
Big tree, you
mentioned it.
think, or?
Yeah, good sized tree.
Wow.
It wasn't
Okay.
a limb. It sounded like a tree.
Boom.
You walked on the trail last night, right? It'll be a picture over on the trail.
Okay.
Well, I might go back up there and see if maybe they knock some stuff over. We just did walk through there and when it was still light.
Wow.
Maybe he's just telling me he didn't really want me in there, or maybe he's saying hi. I don't know.
Well, you know, it seems like every time we have a camp out here, there's at least one tree comes down. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's tradition.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Teresa.
Yeah, that Huckleberry Creek Trail, it's at the very top of 73, is a magically beautiful place, incredible. Just one of the prettiest. There's some beautiful old growth trees in there. It's a really nice forest. when she got out of the car, my sister, and she played the flute for a little bit while I was getting ready to go for the hike. And then we closed the doors, started walking, and it was maybe like 10 or 15 minutes later, I heard a one note of the flute in the forest. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. And then on the way back, she heard this woman's voice talking. And we thought there was a woman. I didn't hear the voice, but my sister thought there was a woman in distress. So we stopped and started calling in the forest to make sure that there wasn't somebody in there needing help. And we never heard anything back after that.
No response, nothing
It
after that.
stopped immediately when I yelled.
Wow. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
Well, that's the disappearing stump.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. That's pretty interesting. Let's hear about that. Yeah.
Yeah, we probably, let's say, I'm not very good at distance, but I'm just driving along at the
50
top
yards.
of 73, and I see a burnt stump sitting right next to the road in the grass. Okay, and definitely dark and not see-through or anything. It's just sometimes you see something dark, you might think it's just a shadow. So I looked down and I looked up and I was coming around the corner and looking for the stump again. There's no stump there.
Huh.
And like, where did that stump go? It was a good size. It was like this tall and black and sitting right by the side of the road. So we went back and forth that spot a couple times in the truck, trying to see if it was maybe a bear, and the bear might have dropped down and be flanking us along between the road and there was a cliff right next to
It would have
the
had
road.
to parallel us because it was a sheer cliff.
We never saw the black stump again.
Wow. Very interesting. Cool. Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. Thank you. Mitch?
So last night, I guess I'll talk about what we heard last night. There's 5 of us. Went up on a evening walk up the mountain behind here. I guess we got about 1.5 miles up. And on the way up, we thought we were hearing some small whoops, but nothing really conclusive. And then all of a sudden, we hear, okay, I don't know if I'll do it justice. Ooh!
Awesome.
And it was long, probably even a little longer than that, and right, maybe a little longer, long enough. How you said it, Kevin, is awesome. to stop what you're walking and actually listen, get out of your thoughts and actually keep listening. So we all just stopped, frozen in our tracks, and that was, I would say, the hairs of all my hairs just kind of stood on end.
Wow.
And it was coming. We thought maybe it was coming down from camp, because it came pretty far down into the valley from up there. It wasn't really immediately close, but it was so loud that it filled up the whole valley.
Wow.
So that was exciting. I'm like, thank you guys. That was awesome.
That is really cool.
I did a gifting site yesterday. I put it up down the path here right behind Barb's tent. No, it's about 200 yards past Barb's tent into the back path there on a rock. Put a bunch of stuff up, and then I had, we'll do iPhone to iPhone.
Sure.
I did an apple, and I had 3 apples, and there was a big bite taken out of the apple.
That's pretty cool.
And
that
is a big.
And then the apple was, as you can see, it wasn't moved or was put back.
Can you tell there's teeth marks?
There's teeth marks, yeah.
Oh boy.
So I don't know what takes up an apple and then takes a bite and places it back.
The Bigfoots.
It's not a Boy Scout? Okay.
No.
Or somebody from Texas.
A&M, brother. Giggle Maggies.
So I had jars of peanut butter and some other stuff, and none of it was moved, just the apple.
Wow,
So
that's very cool.
I'm so excited.
I'll bet you are.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mike?
Yeah, that on the night walk, that whoop sound was really impressive.
Yeah?
Really cool.
Cool. Okay.
And
And
we saw some tree that was tied in a knot around camp.
oh, that's right. Yeah, I've got pictures of that little video I'll share. That's really amazing. It is a very tight knot.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Out of a tree. Okay, anything else?
Nope.
All right. Linda?
Oh my God.
Oh, here we
I
go.
wish I had my teeth. Well, yesterday after the meeting, everybody knows about Balakan,
about me saying I liked lichen, and then I took a little branch with lichen in the middle of it, and
From
I
the Field
put
of
it
Dreams.
from the Field of Dreams, and I put it on my little nightstand that they made so pretty for me in my little room. And the next morning, you know, I mean, oh, it was there that morning, okay? And then in the afternoon, it showed up on my lip, you know, at the very top of it, in the middle, you know, the little pine cones hanging like a chandelier, like I
And
had.
this is right outside your tent.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
And anyway, and it was there. And it was like, oh my God, how did it get from inside? And they could all tell, and he can testify, there was nothing phony about that. I mean, I was like, I don't know how I didn't have a heart attack. That was the wildest thing.
You were shaking. You were so
My
excited.
God, and then it even got better because then after yesterday morning's meeting, I noticed everybody hunched around that car over there, and I was making all these faces, and I thought, what the hell? And so I go walking up there, and I'm looking in the car, and I saw the thing lying on the what do they call door handle?
It was like the
Inside
pocket
door.
thing or
And
something.
there it laid, and she's looking up like, you know, sorry, and it was just the weirdest thing I've ever had happen in my life.
That's
know?
cool.
But I will say that this morning, my hiking boot is missing. And I'm not real tickled about that because I kept hearing all that shooting all day yesterday. And I was thinking, what if some creep opened my tent? So y'all tell me it was Sasquatch, okay? Because that kind of bothered me.
Well, you know, the guys that come up here and drink and shoot, you know, they got their own issues, but stealing somebody's one shoe out of a tent isn't going to be one of them.
Thank you. And I still think I would hear that zipper go down if I did.
Yeah, I'm sure you would.
But anyway, that's it.
Okay, all right,
She was
thank you.
gonna say, I don't know.
I was just about finding this stick in my car.
Oh, the stick. Okay, yeah. Well, I've got
was very
pictures and
bizarre.
video of that I'll be sharing too. So, yeah, that was pretty cool. The expressions on everybody's faces was priceless.
I didn't even have words. I was like,
You were stunned.
we were talking about that. I was like, I just was staring at it and I couldn't even get words out.
Well, it reminded me so much of the leaf that Barb found in her car, you know.
Yeah,
It was-
stuffed into the
it was
door
just
handle.
so odd that a leaf would just place itself.
And it didn't just float in, and
No.
it was stuffed in that leaf. Yeah.
Did you have any sense that they were there? Did you get the feeling? I mean,
Well,
obviously they were, but did you feel that their presence? in
I
your
was
car?
sleeping and I woke up at some point after Sandy was telling the story about the tent and getting poked. I had heard something, but I dismissed it. And then we thought to ourselves, did they bring it up and poke her in the side with the stick and put it in my car?
Maybe.
So they were in there with me too, Linda, because
Okay.
nobody else was in my tent.
Well, I feel better.
Did you get a sense that they were there? I'm just wondering because I've heard people tell me they know they're there.
I can normally feel them when they're around. They're magnetic, you know, the vibration is so much different. It feels like anxiety almost. You can, I mean, for me and Sam, actually.
I've heard it.
She gets a sense right away. She's really good. She's
Well, I just think, yeah, like a kind of like you, kind of an anxious,
Like a
tingly
weird,
feeling.
yeah. Can't put it into words, really.
And I was already fearful because I had psyched myself out over a cougar, you know, the fear, and I was just like trying to talk myself down and turned over, and then to get poked, it was like, okay, that's enough. But
Moving on, Kevin.
Well, I was
Anything?
on the night walk, and Mitch described what had happened. But I mean, that was awesome. But the other thing that I noticed is, about 2 hours before in camp, I had a little sip of strawberry tequila, and it was. And I'm not into strawberry tequila, but this was awesome. I mean, it tasted really, really good. And so it was just a sip. It wasn't much, and that was it. And went on our hike, and about 15 minutes before we came into camp, coming down the hill, I smelled this wonderful strawberry tequila, and it was like I just walked through it because I had one good smell, and then the next breath it wasn't there. And so I immediately turned around and tried to capture it. Figured it was a cloud or something. It wasn't there. It was just fresh air, no clean air, nothing else. And so I kind of smelled my breath. I smelled my hand. I very uncomfortably asked Sandy to smell my hand because that was the hand I held the bottle. Wow. And she goes, "No, it doesn't. It just stinks. It doesn't smell."
It's not real smelly.
But that was really weird. And then this morning at the breakfast table, that bottle was still there. I smelled it. It didn't smell quite the same. What I smelled was the taste that I had. It wasn't the smell right out of the bottle. It was the taste that I smelled.
Wow, that's interesting.
And I didn't put that together until my breakfast sniff of tequila.
Okay. All right.
So,
okay. Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Reno?
Well, I haven't seen, I haven't heard anything. Vic and I took a drive up the end of this road here, and then we hiked further back on a fire trail there where there's those cottonwood trees that are up there growing on our hike.
The little ones?
Yeah.
Alders.
Alder trees that were bent in different directions at different levels. We did see some branches higher up that were snapped off. Weren't elk. There was no scrapes on the trees, so it wasn't elk. We don't think it was snowfall that caused them to fall just because of different directions. At one, within 20 feet of each other, some were laid over this way, and then the others were laid over that way.
Well, anything woven?
Didn't notice anything woven. No.
Okay. All right. Cool. Anything else?
No.
No. Okay. Vic, you're just slightly off camera. Anything you'd like to share?
No, just the other day, the first day we're here, we drove up to 73 line up here, and we did see a tree that was about 9-10 feet tall, and it was broken off, but it was twisted.
Huh?
We did take a picture of it, which we'll send you.
All right, cool.
But
yeah,
it
we'll
was
share
really
that.
interesting because I've seen a lot of trees, and they break or the elk grab them, then they rot and they'll break. Well, this one wasn't. It was that way, but it was twisted at the break, like it was just bent over, but it was twisted, like something just grabbed it and snapped it.
Wow, cool.
It's pretty
Yeah.
interesting up the road on the right, about a mile or so up.
We find a lot of interesting, not just breaks and bends and things, but where things are woven, where things are folded, bent, and woven through and around, back and forth. And we've often wondered if there's not a particularly artistic Sasquatch in this area, because we don't find them that intricate and
everywhere.
Yeah, just in this area. Yeah. All right, cool. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, when we went on the night walk last night, on the way up, I'm the only one that heard it. I heard a whistle, and then on our way down, I heard a whistle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when everybody got back, most everybody had gone to bed. There was just, I think, Patrick and Courtney and I were sitting here when the group came back from the night walk. And Sandy had said something. She started to get up and walk away and said something about, well, if you need something, just whistle. And immediately, from right behind us, there was a whistle. I think.
I wanted more strawberry tequila.
Yeah. And there's one other thing that I think Linda kind of skipped from yesterday was that the birds, while we were gone on a walk, she was talking about the whistles, the thrush whistles.
That y'all drove off, several cars drove off, and I'm sitting here by myself. I thought Sam had said she was going to stay, and Sandy was taking a nap, so I was sitting there. And those same, I've never heard thrushes before, but what we heard the other night that came from area to area, that started, and there were I think they did 4 by themselves, and then I would go like that, and they'd do it. And they did that 4 or 5 times. So I don't know, it was 8 to 10 times that I heard it. And then it just stopped. But it came from there and a little bit further down. So they were kind of close together.
Well, it can be difficult, to distinguish between a real one and a false thrush. But something that Vic pointed out yesterday that I thought was particularly interesting is he asked, have you actually seen a thrush since you've been here? And I said, no, actually I haven't. And I've kind of been asking around, and nobody that I've asked so far has actually seen a thrush since we've been here.
If you don't mind, I have something I remembered from this morning when I came out of my tent and I went around. First of all, looked for the footprint. Didn't see one. Came back, and when I walked out to the road, I heard a bell ding.
Really?
A little ding, a bell ding. And I stopped and I looked back because of your bowl, but there was nobody up. But it was a ding. It was
Like my Tibetan bowl,
Yeah.
if somebody tapped it. Wow, that's cool.
And so I just remember that when we were talking, and I was like, oh, that's a great little detail I need to tell you, because I was in the middle of the road when I heard it.
Wow.
And then the other thing, did you guys talk about the meditation?
Oh,
ceremony we did
no,
last
we
night?
didn't.
It was my idea, but it was Teresa actually led it. So with the group Om chant. So we got all very new agey and hippie like, but it was really awesome.
It was cool. It was very
really
cool.
cool.
I think
And
that's something we should incorporate into all our campouts.
My idea was to set, because I'm a big believer in setting your intention and living your life and asking for what you want in your life. And why not just ask in a collective, set in collective minds, just, can we all have an experience? And it was Teresa's idea to have the Om chant with that instead of just a silent meditation. And I felt super relaxed afterwards. So it was,
Yeah, I think we
a lot
all
of
did.
people felt that too.
Actually, while we were doing it, Gabby was laying here snoring. So.
And what was really cool to the viewers out there, which none of you are going to be able to see, is Barb doing her Tibetan bell right on the end of it. It was like the pièce de, or what do you say? It was like, it was awesome at the end. It just very beautiful accompaniment. So.
It was cool. It was very cool.
I touched that
Oh, and
metal pole right there, and it actually was vibrating.
yeah, that was it. Oh, and then we had a bag of sage from Arla, she had given us, and we passed that around, and we all spoke what we had to say, and tossed a little pinch on the fire, and yeah, and then we had an awesome night. Some great experiences. Right on. Okay, thank you, everybody. I guess that we're wrapping up our meeting, and high hopes for a great day. I can hardly wait to see what's going to happen next.
Yep.
Woohoo! Yeah!
I'm sticking to Linda.
Okay, so we have an interesting find to share with you here. This is just below our main campsite, which is just right up on the hill up here. And this was found. This just blows me away. Look at that. It's not really fresh, but this has literally been tied in a knot. Look at that. I mean, you can't budge it. Those pieces they're stuck like that. Stripped, knotted. Holy smokes. And then this is beside it. That's been pretty well twisted too. It's dried into that shape. It's not going to move. Isn't that something? Huh. Interesting. They're pretty well embedded in the ground. So this was looks like probably it was a maple tree. Yeah. Wow, that's something there. Right on. Very cool. Don't see many of those around. All right, thank you for sharing.